All right, guys, the back side of this long paper. Okay, substitution, right? So we know y is the same thing as 2x minus 4. So over here we copy, well, there starts the third period for you guys. 11x minus 4, and the only thing we plug in is instead of the y, we plug in 2x minus 4. The only thing you could mess up on this equation is that when you distribute, you're distributing a negative 4. So 11x, negative 4 times 2x is minus 8x. And then negative 4 times negative 4 is actually positive 16. So make sure you keep the sign with the negative 4s, you know what I mean? Equals 22. All right, from there, you should be able to combine x's and throw the 16 to the other side and figure out what x is. Once you figure out, go back over here and plug it in and figure out both. Okay, over here, we don't have anything that we would like to use for substitution, where it tells you what one of the things is worth. So over here, we're going to probably use elimination. This is where we stack them on top of each other. So 2x minus 4y equals negative 2. Right here, if I was going to change any equation, I'd probably make this one twice as big so that the y's kill each other out. And then I would have 6x's plus 4y's equal 42. And from there, we can just, now we're using these two. From there, we add the columns. The y's and the 4y's cancel each other out, and we get, 8x's equal, 8x equal negative 2, and positive 42 is 40. Divided by 8. And I think you know what x is now. So at that point, I can plug the fact that I know x is 5 into any equation. For me, I don't know which one of these looks the easiest. I guess, I don't know. I guess maybe this one? Who knows? So 3 times 5 plus 2y equals 21, and you should be able to figure out what y is. All right, y 581,000 in scientific notation. Remember, the first number has to be between 1 and 10. So 5.81. If you just put the decimal after the first number and then kind of leave out the zeros, you're good. That's how you turn it into a number between 1 and 10. And then if it was 5.81, how many times do I have to move it over? I have to move it over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. So in our number system, multiplying by 10 moves the decimal over once. So let's multiply by 10 5 times. 10 to the 5th power. 10 times 10 times, and that'll get you there. All right, same thing over here. We do turn it into a number between 1 and 10. So we put the decimal after the first number, and we start with 6.52. But if it was 6.52, we have to make it a lot smaller. We have to make it 10 times smaller, 10 times smaller, 10 times smaller, 10 times smaller, 10 times smaller. So it's 10 times smaller. It's basically dividing by 10, dividing by 10, dividing by 10, dividing by 10. And that's what negative powers do. Instead of multiplying by your number that many times, you divide by your number that many times. So we need to get 10 times smaller once, twice, 3, 4, 5 times. So negative 5th power. So we're moving to the left 5 times. And remember, the first number has to be between 1 and 10. All right, number 20. Write in standard form. Well, that's easy. We just move the decimal over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times. That would be a 0 there, a 0 there, a 0 there, a 0 there, a 0 there. So there it is. What was that? 2, 3, and 5 zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, comma, comma. 2,300,000. All right, write in standard form. So we start with 2.74, and we move this backwards 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's where the new decimal goes. So there's a 0 there, 0 there, 0 there, 0 there. So 0.000274. Pretty easy. All right, how many times bigger? Hopefully you know that how many times bigger, like if I'm 100 pounds and my niece is 50 pounds, I'm twice as big. How many times bigger am I than her? 2 times bigger. So this is division. So in this one, you can divide the front number very easily. If I have a calculator, I got to reach over to Liam's desk and grab a calculator. Okay. 2.16 divided by 6 equals 0.36 times. This is 10 to the, right? This is division. We have a shortcut for division. This is 10 to the second power. You might think this is the answer, but this is not scientific notation. This is because the first number is not between 1 and 10. It looks like scientific notation, but scientific notation, that first number has to be between 1 and 10. So what do? Let's just make that 1 10 times bigger. Let's move it up to make it 3.6 instead of 0.36. But if we make this 10 times bigger, we got to make this guy in the back 10 times smaller. So we'll just steal a 10 from him. So hopefully you can steal 10 from the back number if you use it on the front number. So instead of 0.36 times 10 to the second, this is 3.6 times 10 to the first. So how many times bigger is it? It's 3.6 times bigger. All right, how much bigger are those numbers? Okay, 2.16. If I'm trying to subtract them, if I was trying to subtract 10 to the 6th minus 10 to the 4th, there's no one less than subtraction is nothing. There's no shortcut for 10 to the 6th minus 10 to the 4th. So we can't do shortcuts like we can with multiplication. So we have to just do long ways, turn them into normal numbers. 2.16 times 10 to the 6th is, let's see, 2.16, we're going to move it over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's 216 with 4 zeros. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep. And 6 times 10 to the 4th would be 6 with 4 zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4. No. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 6 with 4 zeros. If we're subtracting them, okay, that's just 2.1 million, like 2,100,000. So you could say that if you want to turn it back into a scientific notation, this is 2.1 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times 10 to the 6th. All right, 24. This is questions directly off the end of the year test. Like I've seen this question before. X to the second power times x to the nth power is x to the 6th. We know this means multiplication, so 1 less than multiplication is adding. What must n be if the powers add up to 6? Pretty easily. Okay, over here, this is division. 1 less than division is subtraction. What must n be if they subtract, if the powers subtract to make -2? All right, can we combine x to the 4th plus x to the 3rd? If I make my tower power down, right, there's powers, there's multiplication and division, there's addition and subtraction, and then there's nothing. We're trying to add, so if we're trying to add, we ask ourselves one thing less. Oh, that's nothing. There's nothing we can do to this. There's no way to simplify this. So the answer is just the exact same thing. There's nothing we can do with this. Unless I know what x is, I cannot combine these. 27, same idea. If I don't, 1 less than subtraction is also nothing. There's nothing we can do there. 28, 3 to the -2nd power. We can say, what do negative powers do? They just turn things upside down. So this is 1 over 3 to the +2nd power, right? Like over here, we can put 1 on the bottom of anything. So all a negative power does is turn something upside down. So 1 over 3 to the 2nd. And if you want to go far enough, this is 1 over 3 to the 2nd power is 3 times 3. This is 1/9. So 3 to the 2nd power would be 9. 3 to the -2nd power is 1/9. They don't do negatives, they just turn upside down. 29, this is just a definition question. Any number to the 0th power is, you should know this, 1. 30, free question. Okay. I have 24 coins, dimes, and nickels in my piggy bank. It contains $1.85. How many nickels and how many dimes do I have? Okay, so if I add up my nickels and my dimes, if you just count them as like coins, that's how I get 24 coins. My nickels, if you add up my nickels and my dimes, I've got 24 coins. But if we're talking about how much money I have, then I've got 5 cents for every nickel. I've got 10 cents for every dime. And I've got 185 cents. All right, you should be able to use elimination. Put this one underneath there. I'd probably multiply by -5 to get rid of the n's, or maybe -10 if you want to get rid of the d's, and figure out how many nickels and dimes are there. All right, good luck. See you tomorrow.